I just gave a presentation in St. Louis, and which was great, to this like social media agency. It was great, and I used your Fox News thing as one of my examples.
What, my mistake?
Well, I don't know if it wasn't really your mistake.
No, it wasn't.
Or what do you think? Do you think of it? Well, let's just start there. Tell people what happened.
So I had become a somewhat regular guest on the Jesse Waters program.
And how did that happen? Honestly, I saw that on Twitter, and I thought you just like superimposed your head in there. I didn't really think you were a guest on Fox. I was like, what? I thought you were like doctored it up, and then I was like, oh no, wait, this is real life.
I wonder if we have editors skilled enough to do that. We probably do. But he had seen this video I made of stopping people on the traffic in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Where I was in traffic coming into the Holland Tunnel one day, and people were using the shoulder, the breakdown lane, to cut.
Okay, and you didn't like that.
I moved out into the shoulder and then drove at the regular speed of traffic and stopped it.
Okay.
And that went everywhere.
Yep.
It was very polarizing.
But probably felt really good.
Oh, it felt really good. Yep. And
did people honk and swear at you?
Like, they were furious.
Yeah, I bet.
But I said, not today. Someone needs to stand up for what's right. Stop and go traffic. People were using the breakdown lane to cut everybody until I stopped them. I moved out into the breakdown lane, and I am moving with the regular flow of traffic. These ladies right here, we gave each other the thumbs up, right? I'm acting as a roadblock of justice. We got a big SUV behind us, keeps flashing his lights at me, honking his horn. Not gonna lie, it's a little intimidating, but I'm not moving. You gotta play by the fucking rules. Not all heroes wear capes. Shut the fuck up. Okay. And so he saw that.
So your payment for that was to get on Fox News.
Yeah, he saw that. They ran the clip, and then he asked me about it. Okay. And I was very prepared for that.
Okay.
And so I stayed in character and was very dry and unapologetic.
You had like kind of a recurring gig being funny.
And they kept inviting me back. Yeah. And on the third or fourth time, and by the way, I asked Dave for permission to go on Fox. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, of course. So the fourth time I went, I didn't... The first three times, the questions they asked me were apolitical.
Funny.
Yeah, it was just nonsense. And then the fourth time, they asked me a more politically driven question about how Massachusetts was lowering the voting age lower the voting age to 16. And I didn't really know how to take that. Sure. And I leaned into sort of like a right-wing troll role of espousing almost QAnon theories, and of course the Democrats want children.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. Okay. And I came
going for a comedy slant, or just like fuck.
I'm always trying to be funny, but that one I kind of went into this. I didn't know where to take it, and it was impossible to not.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going to step on it one way or the other.
Yeah, and when I came off the show, I didn't really have I wasn't happy with how I'd done.
Sure.
And I came home and sort of told my wife, I was like, I don't think that was very good. And she had said, well, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Does this matter a lot to you? And then the next day I was hosting the rundown, and the rundown ended. The screens went off, which held our ad copy. Mm-hmm. This is my first time doing the rundown since coming back to the company.
Coming back to Barstool, okay.
And I didn't know. I said, that's the rundown, goodbye.
Yeah.
And I assumed that meant the show was over.
Yeah.
And then Roan asked me, we forgot to ask you about your Fox News appearance last night. And I said, I'm glad we didn't talk about it. I wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think my performance was good. There are a lot of people on there who don't know that I'm messing with them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that I did this political stuff, and I don't think it's very good for the world. And Rudy said something like, well, it's not your job to fix people. And I said, it's not my job to fix people, but I certainly don't want to further divide the country. Yeah. And all of this was still on tape from an audio perspective. And when we finally stood up, I went up to one of the producers and I said, I just want to double check that none of that's going to be in there. And he said,
because you were fair. You had some harsh words for Fox.
I certainly did.
Characterization of
and I had dropped any pretense of character.
Yeah.
And
you were just talking honestly to Ron.
Yeah. And my mistake is, no matter what, I'm still in front of cameras with a microphone on me. Yeah. how many times do you need to learn that lesson?
Yeah, it's kind of a stupid lesson to learn, but it happens to everyone.
I guess so.
Okay. So then the producer is like,
So they said, yeah, of course, that'll go. And then later that night, I got a text from John Rich saying, hey, man, I don't know how this happened, but we put up the rundown and it included all of like 20 minutes of you talking about Fox News. And I don't know. We've taken it down. We removed it.
How long was it up for?
I think half an hour.
Okay.
And I thought he was
like
fucking with
you.
me.
Sure.
And I wrote back something like, haha, I think.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, someone grabbed it.
Yeah, it's like a little trickle.
Someone grabbed it.
Trickle, and then it's like everywhere.
And I was like, is this for real? Okay, well, maybe this won't mean anything.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody will care.
Yeah.
And people cared in waves.
Yeah.
It was as if something, then I got the Daily Beast email.
Yeah.
The dreaded Daily Beast email.
Yeah.
Hi, Francis. I write for the Daily Beast. I saw that you had a leaked audio thing happen. Just want to ask you, 1, what does this mean? 2, like, what were you thinking? And 3, are you planning to go on Fox News again? I'm like, oh, Jesus. It's such eerie shadows of the day that I got fired.
Yeah.
Because that same email came from them.
Yeah, it's the same pattern. Yep.
And it was just like, am I really walking through this again?
That's actually funny. You know how sorry to interrupt you, but how there's the thing right now with Google, so everyone's getting laid off. Everyone's laying off 10% of their workforce. Yeah. So Facebook laid off 10%, Google's laid off 10%, Vox laid off 10%. And the Google people, everyone is, who else did it? Oh, Twitter obviously is laying off people. And now there's this whole meme going around of the day in the life of getting fired. So either your badge doesn't work or you get an anonymous email. At Barstool, when you get fired, you get an email from a Daily Beast reporter. That would be our meme.
Oh, God.
So anyway, sorry. So go ahead.
No, it's terrible.
I remember. I felt for you. It's just such a shitty feeling, and that storm is just so loud.
Yeah, and then some Mediaite, which I'd never even heard of, wrote an article saying, Barstool Sports star, which I thought was generous.
Yeah. I'll take it.
And Fox News regular Francis Ellis blasts the network, quote, they traffic and hate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this attention.
Yeah.
I don't. And there were a couple of things that pissed me off. The first part was, Roan had said, if they offered you a job, would you take it? And I laugh. Okay. And I go, I mean, that would have to be a conversation with Dave. Hey, Dave, I just got offered a full-time job at Fox News. I'm kidding. Mm-hmm. I think anyone with an ear would know that. Imagine the insanity of that conversation with Dave. I've only been here 4 months.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, I just got offered a full-time job at Fox News. Can you match it? What? No. And yet, the left took this thing, the left outlets, and spun it as, 1, he's almost already an employee of Fox News.
Actively being courted by Fox News.
Here's someone from within the ranks speaking against the establishment.
Yeah.
And even though he spoke truth and said they're terrible, he still admits that he'd accept a job. Can we really hold him up as a truth speaker? And it's like, oh my God, guys, make up your mind. And then the right was like, fuck this guy. He blasts the network that's given him such a big opportunity.
Bit the hand that feeds him.
And yet he still says he'd accept a job. So I got it from both sides. Mm-hmm. And in a way, that helped me not care.
Yeah, you're like, this is preposterous.
I'm like,
did you like it? Are you no. Dave has this ability to love being in a storm. It's actually, I think, one of his best qualities and rarest qualities. I think it's the worst. I hate it. It just makes me sweaty and uncomfortable.
I didn't like it because I had evoked and quoted my wife and had said that she said, do you really want to be working with these people? Yeah. So a lot of the hate that I got was fuck your wife. And I was like, damn, I should never have mentioned her, God forbid people come after her. And it's a militant group. You know, it's these, and by the way, I think I should say that if I had been doing these sarcastic appearances on CNN, it is just as likely that I would have said something
equally
disparaging of them.
Yeah.
So I have
on a hot mic.
I have no.
Yeah. You're like, I want people to see my humor and my craft.
I don't have any
opportunity.
commitment to either side and all of that. But I don't like being.
How mad were you at the producers and the editors?
I mean, look, the only way that I've been able to make peace with my own mistakes is by convincing myself that I have a large hand in them. And even if I'm wrong, I have to believe that it's my fault.
Yeah, you're like, I talked when I shouldn't have, and I had the mic on.
Which allows me not only to forgive, but to try to be better about not making those mistakes again.
I get that. Did they apologize?
They did.
Yeah, that's good.
And I certainly didn't want anyone to get fired or anything like that. But, you know, it just spun out. I mean, we had that crazy guy come into the office under the pretense of, you know, coming after us. And the funniest part was the next day, Dave texted me because I had to call. I called him and I didn't pick up.
Yeah.
And then I texted him. I was like, I need your advice.
Yeah.
And I told him the whole story. And he was very level. Yeah. He kind of goes into like, all right, we have to handle this. This is what I would do. Yeah.
He's great in a crisis.
Yes.
Excellent.
He's very, very cool.
Yeah.
But the next day, you know, when kind of it was like, this isn't the worst thing. And you were super helpful too in calming my heartbeat. But he said, I texted Tucker to let him know that you don't speak for me. Because he's tight with Tucker and doesn't want my words as a reflection of the brand.
This isn't a company statement or a Dave statement. That's interesting.
And then Tucker, he goes, and Tucker told me to tell you, don't let your wife dictate your life. And I wrote back, LOL, I needed that. And Dave wrote, I don't think he's kidding.
That's the perfect pin in this situation.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
And then I had a moment where I was like, fuck Tucker. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. And then I'm like, nah.
Like, I put it there.
That's fine.
That's funny.
That's fine.
I mean, Tucker just did the Age of Men documentary. Have you watched it?
No.
Oh, yeah, you should watch that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shall.
I mean, that's funny. Okay. So what are your, what are your takeaways?
I need to be, you know, you can only make the same mistake, as I said, so many times before you have to realize that it's
But you've only done it once.
You know, I'm just loose.
Yeah.
I'm loose.
Yeah, okay. Do you think that you're bigger, did it make you realize you're bigger than you thought you were? Visible, followed. Like, that always surprises me with us.
I think that it's so impossible to take any kind of, for me, it's always the brand. Yeah. It's Barstool. You know, that headline reads Barstool Sports Guy, not random comedian Francis Ellis. And therefore, it is always that I bear a responsibility as a mouthpiece, however big or small, for this company. Sure. To choose my words carefully. Yeah. Because no matter how much we can disavow what a person says here, they're still on payroll. Yeah, they're still someone that we hired. And, you know, you just I learned that lesson the hard way the first time when I got fired. And now this job, and I'm not just saying this because it's you, is so vital to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And is so, I'm so happy to be here again, that if I were to get fired for making a similar mistake or for speaking out of turn or just, as I said, being loose, I would not be able to live with myself.
Yeah, I understand that. It was funny because I noticed that reaction in you. So one is, I think, we just handle things so differently. Like if we were an ESPN and you were an ESPN personality, ESPN comms would have been all over this. Like, we're going to handle this the way we handle everything, which is like shit happens. You just got to let it play through.
Right.
And you got to steer the course. But it was interesting in your reaction is that you were so worried about Barstool.
Yeah.
And I don't think Dave and I were actually we're like, this has happened. We've been knocked in the face or fucked up or made so many mistakes in the last 6 years that that I felt like I was like, oh, Francis, like, I'm not even going to get worked up about this one. Like, it's going to pass and it's going to work through. But